Hello, little chillblains. Now, there's a few things that we're going to look at here that are important. So this is really how to change a fraction into a decimal. And actually, you need a calculator. I mean, you could do it in your head, but it would be a long, complicated process. And luckily, the book is telling us to use a calculator. So, let's look at 5/8. You can refer back to this yellow. In fact, let's go through the yellow. 3/7, I'm going to ignore that sentence at the top. 3/17 is the same as 3 divided by 17. Now, I don't remember if I told you this, but a fraction and a dividing sign are essentially the same thing. The difference being, sorry for the very bad drawing, the difference being that instead of numbers, the dividing sign has got dots. So fractions and division are very closely linked. And actually a fraction means that we are dividing the number on the top, the numerator, by the number on the bottom, the denominator. That's what a fraction always means. There's never a time where it doesn't mean that. Okay? We don't always use it for that purpose, but it always means that. Okay? Now that is just a little bit of information. So in order to work out the decimal, we do the division sum, and because dividing into decimals, you can do it in your head or you can do it in paper, but it's time consuming, especially when you see the answer's got about 30 decimal places. That's why we're doing it on the calculator. So here we've got 3/17 equals the same as 3 divided by 17, and that's the sum that you would do on the calculator, which we've done before, and that would give you 0.17. Now we want to do this to our first decimal place, which would make it 0.2, which is all things that we've done before. And if remember, we can think about this as pounds and pence. No pounds and 17 pence. Well, we're rounding that to the nearest 10. No pounds and 20 pence. So 5a 3/7 equals 3 divided by 7 equals 0.425 blah 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 blah, and to one decimal place that would be 0.4, because we would round it down. We ignore the 8 and we just go to the 2. We stick with the 2, so it would be like, even, okay, let's say we rounded to the 8, that would be 43, but even then, because we're rounding to the 4, we're rounding 0.4 is the answer. Okay? 6 and 7 are a little bit trickier. So what you're going to do, this is saying no calculator. Okay? No calculator. So you're going to do this by writing it down. And you're going to round it before you do anything else. So for example, 3.298 rounded to the first decimal place would be 3.3. And then 5.28 rounded to the 5.528 rounded to the first decimal place is 5.5. So your sum is basically 3.3 add 5.5, which is dead easy, 8.8. Okay, and that is what you do. Some of them are adding, some of them are taking away. Let's look at I very briefly. 8.074 rounded to the first decimal place, so that is 7 rounded to the nearest 10 is 10. It would be 8.1. I'm thinking of it in terms of pennies. Then 5.89 rounded to the nearest 10 would be 5.9. So that's 8.1 take away 5.9. Okay. Now, for 7/8, all good. You can use. Oops. The cat bumped into me there. You can use a calculator. And this is what the question says. A piece of wood 9.3 meters long is cut into 5 pieces of equal length. So what you're going to do is the sum 9.3 divided by 5. Okay, 9.3 divided by 5, do it in the calculator, then round it to the first decimal place. B, 9.2, what are you going to divide that by? Can you see a number? And C, 23 firemen share a lottery win of 25,980. And this specifically says what I've been telling you to do is to round it to the nearest 10 pence. Okay? So you're dividing the lottery win in amongst the firemen and get it to the nearest 10 pence. Okay, let me know if you've got any questions or problems.